Hello. Welcome to Star Wars Minute. It's your weekly podcast in which we analyze, scrutinize, and celebrate the rise of Skywalker 1 minute at a time. I'm Alex Robinson from alexrobinson.fun.
I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
And I'm Jeff May from all of the other stuff. From pretty much everything that isn't those two specific things.
Welcome back, Jeff May. Glad you could make it again.
I'm glad I could make it. I'm very excited to do this. This is good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's minute 109. This is the one you've been waiting for, everyone. Minute 109 starts off with Rey tearing her eyes away from a hole in the ceiling to look at Pop Pop.
Mm-hmm.
And it ends a minute later with Rey turning away from the gap in the roof to gaze at her grandpa.
I'm just noticing some symmetry here.
Wow, it's like poetry.
It's like Watchmen.
Yes, and of course, this is the scene that we've been commenting on the similarities to the Return of the Jedi finale, and this definitely echoes the scenes where Luke is, the Emperor's like, look at your friends, they're being killed over there, and then Luke's all like, this is Rey's.
I'm afraid the fleet will be quite operational when your friends are...
Yeah, unfortunately, she wasn't busting out the sarcasm as much, a little bit, but not as over the top as previous.
He's grown a little humility after getting absolutely bodied right after saying that last time.
Right.
Yeah, taught him.
I think I should turn it down a little bit maybe for this one. Maybe I should.
He's just tired.
Maybe I was too much at the time. Maybe that's, if we don't learn and grow, who are we really? We can't be a better... If I'm being a better Sith, not just for me, but for my grand empire.
And for all of you, woo! All the Sith.
It's the only way they know how to communicate is through like choral sounds.
Like chants.
Right.
They're really one hive mind entity.
Yeah.
I like one thing we couldn't hear when Luke Skywalker, at least I don't think, was having his battle, is you can hear the sounds of the explosions off in the horizon. I know we've taken the sound mixing a bit to task in this film for a couple of different scenes, but I like this. It really, I don't know, gives it a sense of like it's a real thing happening. Hearing like the explosions far away, like fire, kind of like fireworks would sound. So.
Yeah, it's also in an atmosphere, so there is sound.
Yeah,
right.
Although that hasn't stopped them before.
No, I know, but I was just being nice.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then
I forget. Do we ever see something explode? Are we ever on a planet and look up and see something explode in space, and you hear it explode in space?
I
can't even think of any
They
times
do that
something
like on the
that
Forest
happened.
Moon when the Death Star exploded.
Yeah.
Or...
Do we ever hear it from the point of view of the people on Endor when it happens?
I don't know, but they really celebrated a mass amount of debris falling onto them and killing them.
Right, yeah. It was a big party.
Boy, they really don't
do
take that into consideration, do they?
Yeah. Well, collateral damage, they call it.
What?
But they can do a similar thing here when they open up the roof thing. All of a sudden, like spaceship parts come falling down on, or burned pilots and
horse
stuff,
poop and space horse poop
and horses. Yeah, horses.
Just a ton of horses fall through that dome. Just thousands of space horses.
Do you think any of the X-wings were like looking down and being like, "Oh my God, that's Palpatine down there"? And then kind of
cut the chatter, Red too. No, baby, just stay alive.
Let's
wait, but I'm
shoot down there.
Yeah, we could end this whole thing like. Hopefully, it's Aftab Akbar. He's the one who noticed. He was like, "Hey, wait a minute."
He's got those eyes. He has a wider,
right? Yeah,
it's actually Ren
peripheral vision,
and she's in there, and we find out her other origin. What's your Ren? Who? None.
None. But
it's the end.
Yeah. Speaking of sound mixing, this turns into a kind of thing that we don't really get in Star Wars, but now we do. We get this kind of montage of cutting around the different things going on in the battle while the music swells, and we get kind of Sheev's narration of what's happening.
Yeah, not a tool that is used.
Roger and Rerun have gone to the Doobie Brothers concert.
Yeah, I do like to add that they cut to a pilot just to immediately kill him, which is very funny. Like the dude doesn't even get a line. And they're just like, and here's a guy. Oh, he's gone. Okay, well,
You must be talking about
exploding. And she's like, I don't know that guy. Like, I'm sure it's tragic, but like,
skip. I don't know any of these people.
Yeah.
That guy's name was Skip.
Aw.
She's like, when are you going to kill Grunberg? I met him.
Yeah.
It feels very Lord of the Rings to me,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like this is something they did a lot of times in battle scenes with Lord of the Rings, where you'd hear, Sam being like, "We keep fighting because that's why we do it," and like while there was all a big battle going on. I'm not opposed to it. It's part of the modern film language we see a lot.
It also really works for this specific moment where, he's like,
all is lost.
We have the technology and the finances to film this the way Lucas wanted to.
I guess I was trying to think, because one of the things that's cool about Return of the Jedi is that there are 3 battles going on at the same time. You have the lightsaber battle, space battle, and then Ewok battle. Yes, I said it was cool. They had the Ewok battle. In this one, it's really two battles, I guess. Because I feel like the space battle is all kind of one thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you could argue that the Finn and Janna are the Ewok battle.
It is, yeah.
And they have the space battle, and then we have the thing. But I feel like those, I don't know. Neither of those seem as exciting on their own,
Oh, is something from Rise of Skywalker not as exciting as something from Return of the Jedi?
Hear me out. Sometimes this is the one time something reheated is not quite as good, but I feel like it would have been stronger having a third, a distinctive battle. But I don't know what it could have been. But
next, you're going to tell me that the Force lighting won't matter in the end, and that all of the hubris that Palpatine has is going to be used to destroy him.
I haven't watched the end, so I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
You'll get there, and I'm just saying. I'm predicting. I don't know.
Okay. I'll be like, this is the thing he was saying about when we get to it.
Hey, we were joking that we see a bunch of no names get shot here, but we do see a name get shot. We see somebody we know get injured during this minute. Not killed, but injured. And that is the one and only Cadel Kokonix.
She gets injured?
She's charging along and gets shot by a blaster bolt.
I didn't realize that was her.
Yeah, I wasn't sure at the time. I was like, is that Cadel Kokonix? And then later, when we see them kind of getting back in the van, I think like Rose and Not Penny's boat hobbit are kind of helping her. Clearly, she's injured.
2 people get shot off horses in this 1 minute. Like 2 people are just blasted right off. I will say one of the cool things is seeing the Sith Trooper land. Like right.
Oh yeah.
There, like that's pretty cool. That was definitely something where they're like, we're going to put this in the trailer, right? Like if that should have been like isn't in the trailer, then I don't know what they were doing.
They should have done like a Zack Snyder like slow down when he was the flames behind him and everything like that. It would have been a real like a a poster, movie poster, not a poster, but not a movie poster. You know what I mean?
Yeah, movie poster.
Poster at
not
12
movie poster. You were very clear about it.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad we get to see the jetpacks again, because it seems like those once those are introduced, you kind of can't not use them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't every stormtrooper have a jetpack on?
What?
So.
It's funny that we saw them with the stormtroopers, the First Order stormtroopers, and we see them here with the Final Order Sith troopers. Like, I wonder if that did that technology hit them both at the same time? Which did they test it out here with the Sith troopers and then port it to the stormtroopers?
Yeah, this seems like something where they were like watching The Mandalorian and being like, we should probably do something.
I got to get me
like
one of those.
Why now?
Yeah.
Jetpacks are such a fascinating thing to me in pop culture because they're so cool looking, but the reality is you would burn your legs off if you were using one, unless you were using like some kind of like ionized heatless energy that produces propulsion. But there's no way you can get that amount of lift and not have your legs just get blasted right off.
Right.
Like you should
what
see
about
people
like
they should have to have their legs forward while they're like on with the jetpack, like they're on one of those like those ab machines where you have to like lift yourself and lift your legs in front of you. Like it feels like they would have to do that, or else they would get scorched to all hell.
Yeah.
What if they stood in like a little cannoli shell kind of a thing that they could put their legs into it that protects them from so underneath the
Oh
yeah, like an asbestos leg warmer.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Could be.
yeah.
That would be great if they showed up in little flash dance leg warmers.
Oh, totally. Then we'll go back to my montage idea. It would
Do
be
it to
less
Maniac.
like Staying Alive, less like Staying Alive the song, and more like Staying Alive the movie. But
That is a great reference, and I hope people appreciate it.
well, thank you.
Directed by Sylvester Stallone. Yes, jetpacks.
Jetpacks. And hey, well, it seems like we're all about the, well, at least my notes are all about sound and music this week. So that's interesting. I have to call up Chrysanthi and talk about this. But we get a neat thing because we say like, hey, nobody you love is here to help you, and then we'll cut to here's Kylo Ren. And when we
landing
see
his TIE fighter on its engines, which apparently
not recommended.
Apparently they just started doing out of nowhere. They used to be in like hanging in bays and docking bays, and now they're just like, screw it. You can just land on the engine and park.
Yeah. I mean, technically you can park a car on its roof. It's not going to be that good for it, but technically.
Yeah, but
probably
also
hold
the
up
roof
most of
isn't
the
the
time.
engine.
No, for most
Like
cars.
if you parked your car on your engine, that would be a problem.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, as listeners know, I'm definitely of the old school. They should not land on their wings, but
Right.
I feel like this is a ship that sailed a long time ago. We've seen Rebels has it, even in Phantom, even in Force Awakens, we saw that's how they got it. The ship that Finn and Poe escape on, or
Well, no, it
landed
came
or
out of
on
a
their
thing.
ground.
It was like a dispenser.
to be fair, yeah, and also they crashed it. So like, I guess it might be Kylo Ren saying, "Screw it, I don't have time
Yeah.
for this. I'm just going to drop this down, and whatever happens, happens. I just got to get in there fast." It's like pulling up to the event as fast as you can, and just like abandoning your car and running as fast as you can. Protecting the car is not the important part of this scene. So I guess in that regard, I'm not as angry as just when they would do it casually.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
This, I don't think he's concerned about driving home. He's going to get wasted.
Yeah, because we also don't know how he got off of. How did he get off of Biff? Oh, is it explained in the novelization by Ray Carson
Yes. They
about how he got off Kif Beer?
my
Because as we
book
know,
fell.
Ray stole his TIE fighter to escape from
I dropped the book.
that
here.
planet. So
And you know how TIE fighters don't have hyperspeed capability on their own.
Didn't.
Unless it's a
in
TIE
the day.
Advanced.
Yeah.
Or
none
a
of
TIE
that,
Scout,
yeah.
excuse me.
Well, this is, according to this, it is a TIE Scout. I don't know
Sure.
what.
Even though the TIE
Yeah.
Scouts have clear hyperdrive engines on the back of them extending off of the cockpit, and this didn't. It's fine. I'm clearly not like that's not something I do care about, but I'm also like somebody with the Bible should have been like, can we at least put like a hyperdrive engine in the back of this thing?
Although, wait, part of this is, did we see him? What do we got? We is this in this one that Ben shows up?
what?
Ben does show up at the end of this minute?
Yeah, he
During this
Yeah.
minute? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I had notes for this for tomorrow, but
Well, I don't think we actually see the TIE fighter until tomorrow.
Okay.
But yeah,
we see that he's okay. Well, then I'll save the TIE fighter.
you just see
notes
the
for
X-wing
tomorrow.
and he pops up. It's kind of like that ring theory. It's kind of like that same shot of Finn where Finn pops up into the frame, sort of.
Right.
I guess he comes from the side, but it evokes that.
But it's like, yeah, hey, nobody's coming to save you, and then it's like, brink, like,
yeah.
Nobody's coming
right.
to save you except for these scores of people that absolutely adore you.
yeah.
That could have been a real like Laverne and Shirley minute where he was, on Laverne and Shirley, whenever they would say, and then
Right, yeah.
Lenny and Squiggy
Hello.
would pop in. Where he's,
Hello, Laverne.
It has real, he's right behind me, isn't he, energy.
Yeah.
Nobody's coming to
Totally,
save
yeah.
you.
Hello,
There's-
Sheev.
There's somebody right behind me, isn't there?
Oh, it's Kylo Ren, I bet. That would be the most ironic, so it must be Kylo Ren.
Must be Kylo Ren, a dude I've been talking solid smack to for most of this film.
Yeah. Well, I'll save the TIE Fighter stuff for tomorrow, but we do get, this is the music note that I had. We really neat that he shows up because now he's given up. Ben Solo's back. It's not Kylo Ren. And so we get a kind of a softer, more kind of heroic, romantic, whatever version of Kylo Ren's music. So it's, when we first showed up and he was evil and we get like, bah, 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 like really like in your face. And now we just get like strings and like, da, da, bah, bah, like much like kind of.
Yeah. The Kylo Ren overture.
Yeah. Well, this is the Ben Solo.
Wimpier version.
Right? Yeah, wimpier. But I was, this is the first time I noticed it because we're going through and I had my ears on. I was like, oh, hey.
Nice.
Oh, I know that.
Good
I
job,
know that music
people.
Yeah.
Are you a music guy, Jeff? Do you notice the music in films?
Sometimes. I consider it a part of the rich tapestry of the film. So I try not to like focus too much. I'm more of a plot and words person. Even when it comes to like listening to music, like I pay very close attention to the lyrics while I'm going through that, which apparently like nobody does. Like sometimes it'd be like, yeah, this song, it's really dark. And people are like, what are you talking about? It's really peppy. And I was like, you didn't talk about how he's killing himself. You didn't hear that part. Oh, I don't listen to the lyrics.
Do you think it's because we don't have access to lyric? We used to buy a CD and it would come with a booklet with little lyrics and you could read it. And now it's like...
Now it's a myriad of websites with the wrong information.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. No, I mean, I guess I do. I don't necessarily make the connections the same way because I'm a bad person. But yeah, like, I notice the theme and mood of it. I just am not like, oh, that's Kylo Ren's theme. Right. I also don't watch Star Wars professionally. So you guys do have that leg up on me. Now, if this was Batman...
Well, we're famous for not noticing music stuff.
I mean,
so
to be fair,
we
just did The Flash for Tom and Jeff Watch Batman. And I talk a lot about how the Elfman music is threaded throughout that entire movie. So I guess when I'm paid to pay more attention to it, I guess I do.
Yeah.
Got it.
So,
there you go.
It all makes sense, I guess. Whereas with this, I was just like, yeah, it's nice music.
I wanted to say a goodbye funny man to the pilot we see shot down is Lieutenant Sefton Vanek.
Oh, Sefton Vanek, yeah.
Yeah, we saw him earlier in the film. He looks kind of like a mustachioed Luke Perry. If you're of a certain age, that definition will make sense. According to the visual dictionary, he was a stunt flyer in an aerial circus before joining the Resistance. Ironic that he gets shot down when he's the one who should be the most, good at twisting and twirling his ship around.
Not to get all Star Fox about it, but do a barrel roll.
It's Sefton Vanek's Flying Circus.
And then, because right after that happens, Poe looks back, and I was like, dude, you need to keep your eyes on the prize, bro.
Well, yeah, he's looking. He's like, is that a trick that he's doing, or is he really shot down here?
He's like, wait, people die in war?
I think he's mad because he gave a distinct order to stay alive. Yeah. And this guy, Lieutenant Vanek's flagrantly flagrantly
He's trying to see who he is so we can write him up.
Sounds like a court-martial to me, yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to the break, pal.
Sefton Vanek was the one who said ground team when they were having their little meeting around the table.
Should have worried more about the air team.
Right. Maybe that's because he was interested. He's like, ground team? Can I be a part of that? I don't.
That's a thing? I didn't even know we had that.
Ground team? Are you sure you don't want more air team?
Yeah.
You sure you don't want all those people on the ground to be maybe in the air?
Can we train these horses to fly somehow?
I think we should catapult the horses.
It's like, yeah, he's like, standing on the wing of the plane and doing, heads.
I know this was from way before, but I do like to add how sweaty the line was when Finn goes, "Not bad for one lesson about riding the horses."
Oh, right, yeah.
And she's,
oh, really? Is that what they said?
They literally add that line in there, and it's like unnecessary.
It's fine. We got it. We understand.
I wish they were stampeding and going like, boy, those lessons really came in handy. I could really lay into it.
The fact that a Sith trooper is not trampled by one of the horses is a real travesty in filmmaking.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, they totally should have had the Sith troopers riding like robotic, like droids, you know what I mean? And then like charging at each other.
And then they could have had jousting.
Oh,
Right, then
totally.
yeah.
Traitor! He has the big jousting.
Oh yeah, he could have been back.
Big
Yeah.
hilarious. Oh man,
That's when
They
when
should have taken it into the Sith arena and done jousting, and then it would have been like medieval times or something.
light jousting.
all eating
Yes.
their chicken bones.
Yeah. While they're eating little tiny cloned Palpatines,
Oh,
like a rotisserie chicken.
Oh, all the failed ones that
Yeah.
didn't.
right.
And these we made also as well. Think of it as more of a rotisserie chicken. Try not to think about think of it as like beyond meat, like it's sort of like meat, but mostly grown in a lab.
I mean, we're all made of the same stuff anyway. So
I would think that the Sith, all their food would be like veal and like the animals really had to
Yeah, the
suffer
A
in
lot
order
of
for
foie
it to
gras
be.
going on.
Yeah,
in the Sith
like
world.
foie gras is like just as part of their regular.
All they
meals
eat is
and stuff.
veal and foie gras. That's why they're so curved over. They all have scurvy.
That's how my skin looks like that. It wasn't
Yeah.
the Force lightning. It was
I
the
must
gout.
have vitamins. That's why he wants to get in Rey's body. He's like, I need to know what it feels like to have like a good working internal organs.
right.
I'm going
to
into
ruin this
renal
body
failure
with
right
more-
now.
Yeah.
I just
More fried foods and cool
constant,
foods.
just constant kidney stones. Just they won't stop. I drink mostly Mountain Dew Code Red.
I think the movie should have ended with us unsure if Palpatine was inside her body or not, like her turning to the camera with like the eye, like a kind of a thriller,
A thriller
ending
finish.
where it's- Yeah,
And then end with him cackling. Oh, that would be great.
And with a
Yeah,
Vincent
totally.
Price style.
the end? Question mark. Oh, that would have been great. Anyway, anything else from it?
We could have tacked that onto the like what's your name? Like Ray who? Like Ray Skywalker. With the thing. Say it like Sheev.
Ray the Senate Skywalker.
Yeah. What's your name? Like I'm the Senate. I mean, what? Ray. Yes. Why wouldn't it be Ray?
Ray what? Ray Sheev. Wait, no.
Well, anything else for minute 109?
No. I'll talk about the TIE Fighter tomorrow.
Yeah, this is a real
Okay.
transitional minute.
Yeah. Jeff, do you remember where you first saw The Rise of Skywalker? Clearly, you said you weren't impressed the first time you saw it, so you never saw it again. Do you remember where you saw it?
Yeah, the AMC Burbank 16, one of the 3 AMC Burbanks within a less than a third of a mile from each other. We're in the theater district of Burbank.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a very well-known meme channel called Americana at Brand Memes.
Sure.
And they always make jokes about the 3 AMCs in Burbank. But yeah, I saw it at the AMC Burbank. I saw it opening day, probably opening show, not a midnight showing. I'm not a psychopath, but like I like to go to if a movie opens on a Wednesday, I love that Wednesday at 11 a.m. show. There's your odds are that you're going to have less terrible people in there.
Yeah. People who still have to get up, they have more of a schedule or something.
Yeah.
Sometimes, they know that they have to deal with real life.
My people are not people that go to midnight showings. Granted, most
Anymore.
of
It
my
used to
friends
be.
go to them. I'm like, no, I don't know what is so important about this movie that you cannot wait. But also I have a lot of free time during the days, I can make time for a Star Wars movie. But yeah, I saw this one in the theater. AMC Burbank 16.
We're going into it. Were you having expectations? Were you excited about it? Or were you, this is probably going to suck? What was do you remember your feelings?
My expectations were, how do I say this politely? Deadened by the previous 2 movies, but sparked after Last Jedi. I actually really liked Last Jedi because one of the things I hate the most is fan theories. I hate them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love how much of a middle finger The Last Jedi was to the concept of fan theories.
Mm-hmm.
That made me very happy because it made the worst people very mad. Because they were like, but I wanted it to be this. And it's like, good. I'm glad you didn't get that. Get off my internet. I really like to see where they were going. So to see, look, man, I like Rose Tycho as a character because she's the only character that makes sense in Star Wars. She's a Star Wars fan in Star Wars. I think that's very interesting. I think that's a very meta. You know, when we talk about when Luke Skywalker goes is on Home One and they're putting a gang together and Luke Skywalker's like, count me in. And he shows up. Nobody in that war room is like, holy crap, that is Luke Skywalker. That is the original Death Star. Like, people would lose their minds when they met Luke Skywalker. That's like the celebrity of the Resistance. He'd be huge. His face.
I think they kind of know he's a jerk.
Huh?
I think they kind of know he's a jerk. So when they come in, they're all just like,
yeah, but like he'd have like Che Guevara style t-shirts by that time. And like, so when Rose meets Finn and it's just like, oh my God, you're Finn. Like, holy crap. I'm a huge fan. Like, that to me was great. And to see her get neutered so that J.J. Abrams could give his friends her role. Like, when you look at like, what is it? Dominic, what's the guy's name? Dominic, is it Monaghan or no? But
sure.
And you see he's just in there doing all the stuff Rose should have been doing. And it's just like, oh, he's just giving his friends spots and like ruining this great character that they created. Like, that really bummed me out. We've gotten episode 7. We already had an episode 4. Like, so episode 7, that was pretty redundant for me. I was like, whatever. I was very excited to see where they were going to go after The Last Jedi and to see it sort of just get like sucked back and just be like, JK, LOL. That, it kind of bummed me out. And I was like, this movie's it's not good. It's like a collection of scenes. It's not a real movie to me. It's perfect for the show because it
works
is
for our format.
Like, this might be the best thing for your format, is a movie where every minute is just its own scene and nothing that came before it matters at all. Like, I like J.J. Abrams. I've accidentally met him twice in public. I think he's a really nice guy. Yeah, the last time I met him was on the way to I was seeing Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. And it was the two main characters were Zachary Quinto and Callista Flockhart. Were they actors? Wow. And as I was walking with my girlfriend at the time, and somebody was like coming out of a parking garage and like joined us. So there was like 3 people now walking. And she's like, why have you ignored me all of a sudden? And I was like, oh, because he's J.J. Abrams and we're walking into the movie. And then later she's like, well, why would he be at this play? And I was like, yeah, well, Spock and Han Solo's wife are the main characters. I have a feeling he knows these people. And then the first time I saw him was the winter of 2014. I was an Uber driver, obviously. And I was
I think you might have told us this once. I remember.
Oh, I must have told you that before. Yeah, where I saw him at the In-N-Out by LAX. Right. And I didn't want to blow up a spot, so I just walked up to him and said, I just want you to know, good luck. We're all counting on you. And then he grabbed my arm and started laughing. So I've incidentally met the man twice.
Started cackling.
Yeah.
And you were like, stop.
Really nice guy. But boy, this movie just is such a middle finger to the groundwork that was laid in The Last Jedi that I thought could have been really good. So it was a letdown for me. But also, like, how embarrassing is it to get let down by a movie that's designed to sell action figures? So there's also that where I'm like, yeah, I can be let down by something. And look, we all have our jobs dealing with this stuff, you know, like, yeah, we all do our thing. But like, I was really just like, yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. Like, you know, they're selling their toys and their video games and their T-shirts and their like sponsored oranges. And all of the different, you know, their towels, beach towels. Like, it's all there. They're all selling the merch. Good for them. But I don't need to see this again.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have watched it again unless you guys had asked me to do the show.
Ever?
I mean, I can't guarantee it, but I can't see me wanting to be like, you know what I want to do with the next 2 hours and 20 minutes? Watch Rise of Skywalker. Because I watched it before we recorded the first episode of the podcast. So I watched it like Sunday night. And I was like, oh, this is, I don't want to see this again. As I was watching it, I was like, it's really not great.
So in a way, each scene, you're like, oh, this is the last time I'm ever going to see this. Like,
Kinda,
it makes you
yeah.
appreciate it more because you're
Yeah.
like, you're
Goodbye.
sort of-
You said that at
yeah.
the end of each minute. You're like, goodbye.
And it's also like, I need people to understand that just because something is not my flavor does not mean I think it is a bad movie. I might have used that word colloquially in this.
Right.
I don't think it's a bad movie in the same way that I think Zack Snyder makes beautiful films. I think he's really bad at scripts and plot, but I think his films are gorgeous. I think this movie's beautiful. I think there are sparks of brilliance in it. It's just Jesus.
All right, I think that just about sums it up.
Sorry, I know if people love it. I don't think everybody's like. I know every movie is someone's favorite, but not this one, right?
I don't know.
I wonder how many people we'd have to ask to rank the Star Wars movies until we encountered someone who would say this was their favorite one.
I would
would
say
be-
it's less than 1%.
It's probably not a huge amount.
Because
Yeah.
Maybe
you'd
Kerry
be holding
Russell's
it up
family.
against what, 13 movies, 12 movies? if you
I guess
count-
there'd be 10 other
11
10
total.
Rogue
10 other
One,
ones, yeah.
but I mean, if you want to count the Clone Wars movie,
Okay, then it would be
Nobody
12
animated.
altogether. Or if you count the Ewok movies, then you're talking 15.
Right, yeah.
those are
So,
television. Which we did do one of. We did we did the Ewok one with Wilford Brimley on an episode of Nerd. So you guys, if you want
there you
to, we to which I have a very fascinating theory that Wilford Brimley is a retired Republic commando.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
I like it. Is that the one we watched, Pete, or do we watch the other one?
No, we watched the other one. We
watched the
said
other
we were going to get back and watch the
Still
second
not
one.
done.
Battle
we
for Endor, I think, is the one that I watched.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
We
it's
watched
the second
Caravan of Courage.
yeah, with the fake Luke Skywalker and
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, people should go track down that episode about the Battle for Endor, and then, what the heck, join us tomorrow for another Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.